Hi, this is Vicki Angel, and I'd like to talk to you about using Desire to Learn in the face-to-face classroom. Now, traditionally, I know that online learning systems have been used by blended and online instructors. I have actually been a blended online and face-to-face instructor here at Hack for well over 10 years now. And I would like to tell you that using Desire to Learn or our online learning system really is a benefit to both students and to the instructor. And that is what we're going to focus on with this short video on why, in fact, you should use or you should consider using Desire to Learn in your face-to-face classroom. Why does this? Aha. All right, so first of all, let's kind of go back. The question might be, well, okay, you're talking about Desire to Learn, but I don't know what that is. And sometimes people don't. Maybe you have no reason to know. But very honestly, it is something that you need to be aware of. It's Hack's learning management system, meaning that you already have access to it. As you are sitting here watching this, you already have access to Desire to Learn. All of your courses are already listed there. So you might say, well, how in the heck do I get into it then? The very easiest way to get into it is very simply to go into your My Hack account, and you will see right on the top of the screen, you'll see D2L and then Brightspace in parentheses. If you click on that, it will take you to your home page. Your home page will have all of your courses listed. Okay? Every course that you have been assigned to teach for that semester at Hack, in fact, will be listed. So you can see my courses are listed there. Now, what you will have there is it's not going to look the same as mine. I've actually created content. You will have basically a D2L shell, which all the capabilities will be there to create your course however you would see fit, but you will have, a basic shell for each of the courses that you have been assigned. Now, what can you do with Desire to Learn? Well, we'll take a look here in just a few minutes, but some of the things that, professors ought to use it for is grading. There is a grade book you can set up in Desire to Learn, okay? Drop boxes. Drop boxes are where you can have students submit their essays. I don't know about you, but very honestly, I cannot write longhand anymore. When I used to have to sit and write out essays, I felt bad for my students because truthfully, I don't know if they could read what I wrote. Now that I can go in a Microsoft Word document or whatever type of document and type my replies or my feedback to them, I feel pretty confident that the feedback is coherent enough and is legible and they can actually gain from it. So, and also, by the way, you're not lugging essays around. You're not getting 30 essays all at the same time. They're spaced out. Technology is a great thing as far as submitting essays and submitting other assignments. Attendance, we all have to do it. We all have to take it. There is a really great tool in Desire to Learn where you just basically put in the dates every day. You go in and you do it. Yes, I know there is that antiquated motion, or not motion, excuse me, that antiquated idea that we could have an attendance book and you could definitely do it that way. But you know what? Hard copy things are going away. This is a record you will have because Hack keeps your courses for years and years. So if anything would ever come up that you'd be questioned, you have easy access to it. You can create quizzes in Desire to Learn. There is a discussion feature which I have used to basically get rid of the dreaded journal. And I think about those black and white books, and I think about my early years teaching when I would be walking around with stacks of them, when they'd be in my car and I'd accidentally spill things on them. All of these things are going by the wayside and they're being replaced by learning management systems. So that is what D2L can do. Okay. So the question then from you would be, well, why? That sounds like a lot of technology and I'm not so sure I'm comfortable with it. There are a lot of benefits to you even if you choose to just use it as a resource for your students only. So the first thing we can say about it is it helps you organize your materials. I cannot emphasize enough how when I started to set up courses in Desire to Learn, how it was reflected in how I set up my face-to-face courses. It made me realize made me clearly realize how I had to basically set up materials to get through them in a timely fashion. Because let's be honest, those kind of things are the things that we struggle with. Now, once you start understanding and seeing it, and I think it's clearer if you see it set up in Desire to Learn, where you can break your modules or your learning objectives up into weeks. It really helps you, and it helps your students because they see a very clear path to what they're going to accomplish and in what time frame. Okay. The next thing is you will have easy access to assignments. All right. And this is a benefit to you because let me tell you what, your students, we all know students are going to come up to you and say, hey, I need an extra copy of this assignment. I need an extra copy of our syllabus. And it is very difficult to remember and to always keep multiple copies of assignments, more than we would ever think would be necessary. It is a lot easier to say, you know what, that can be accessed in Desire to Learn. Go ahead and go into our course and it's right there for you. So that's why I'm saying it may take some time at first to upload this information, okay? But once you have it there, it will save you a lot of time, okay? And it will obviously save trees, and heaven knows we're all very interested in that, right? Sure it will. So what I'm saying is this will replace your hard copy essays and journals. Students won't lose them. You won't lose them. I know that we are required to do a portfolio every semester, meaning students need to go back and look at the essays they've written through the semester and comment on how they've grown and changed as a writer. I always had the problem that students would say, well, I can't find essay number 2, or I can't find any of my essays. That problem no longer exists for me because they're all in Desire to Learn. So this is really a definite benefit. One of the other things it does is it virtually eliminates room for grading errors, and it provides an easy reference for grades. I have bad memories of calculators and adding things and making grave mistakes. All you do is put the grades in Desire to Learn. They figure them out for you. There is really no room for a grading error. Okay. It also provides your students, if you set it up this way, it provides them with a very easy tool to see what their grade is. They click on it, they know what their grade is. That eliminates for you that, can you tell me what your grade is question, or my grade is question that we get so often? But also it really does seem to help them. And I mentioned before attendance. It is just easy. It's so easy to go in there and take attendance in that way. And because attendance, especially at the beginning of the semester, can cause us actually to drop a student for non-attendance, it's really important to have some sort of a backup or some sort of a reference in case that is ever called into question, okay? So the next thing that you should think about is why it would be a benefit to your student. Now, some of these things we've already mentioned. So first of all, you know, obviously it gives us an opportunity to provide them a clear deadline. Okay, in the calendar, there's a calendar feature in Desire to Learn to put the deadlines on that. There is also the news page on the very front page of the class where you can list assignments. That is actually what I do every week. I go in and I put, you know, week 1, please submit the following, and then I list them. And at the beginning of every week in every class, I refer them to it. And sometimes it seems like, you know, you're repeating yourself and it seems like you're giving too much repetition. One of the things that I believe I've learned as, you know, as a mother, unfortunately, and a teacher, is that you can't repeat yourself enough. If you say it 10 times, chances are maybe 60% of your students are going to have heard you. So if you can provide deadlines and information in all kinds of areas, it is super helpful. Absolutely. And in fact, I will show you here in my classes, not only would I list, well, you know what? I'll go into one of my summer classes I'm teaching because it'll be easier for you to see it, I think. Just a second here. I feel like I should be singing like some sort of like waiting music, but I won't torture you. So this is one of the online classes I'm teaching for summer. And if you notice, in the news section, you see I have last week deadlines, and then I have things listed. So students have that way to determine what in fact is due. They could also look at the grades that are listed. My grades are listed by weeks. So they look at the week that they're in and they see all of the things that they can potentially have grades for. So this is the last week of classes for summer. And these are all the things they have to have turned into me. And they know that. And one of the things I keep getting basic accolades from students about is the way I have my courses organized and how they never really seem to have any doubts what's due and when it is due. So I utilize the part of Desire to Learn to help students kind of not be confused, because it seems like they are confused despite anything that we do to stop them from being confused. Again, they have already access to grades, and you do want to make sure if you are using Desire to Learn that you have the grade visible to them, but again, it is something that they absolutely appreciate. They also have ready access to course resources. Not only do I give them the assignments that I hand out in class, but I also like to provide helpful links. Now, it could be me teaching. For instance, in my 101 class, I teach 5 mini grammar lessons, and I don't spend a lot of time on them in my face-to-face classes, but I do provide links to the information as well as a short lecture by me in the course content. Now, this is all stuff you don't have to do, but you might find it useful in the future. So that is basically, in a nutshell, why I believe you should consider using Desire to Learn in your face-to-face classroom. Now, probably what you're thinking is that it sounds great, but how the heck am I going to learn how to do that in addition to every other thing that I have to do this semester? And I'll be honest with you, it does take time, and it's not something I would, think, oh, I'm going to do it all right now. It's definitely something that is doable, and there are all kinds of resources to help you. In fact, if you go to your homepage in Desire to Learn, you will see that there's actually help for instructors. All right, and those things are super important for you to utilize. Also, you notice you will be actually added to the Lebanon English faculty shell, and that's going to be a place for us to come together and talk and work on, using Desire to Learn or using any sort of resources to better serve our students. And my information is here. I would absolutely be glad to help you. My hope is that you will become more and more familiar with Desire to Learn and consider using it in your classroom. All right, thank you.